Dear Diary, the regular league season is finished and Banbridge Town are top qualifiers heading into the split. It means that in our final 5 games we can afford to slip up and could still stay in a promotional playoff spot, so hopefully we see things out and can go up, especially after completing my National B licence course. High five Teddy! I could start the A licence, but I'm thinking about waiting until the new season to do that, especially as Banbridge Town have extended my contract into next season, so things are going great. We also hit a youth intake and now have some quite promising players in our under-18s. Our wage budget is over the limit again now, but I think it's worth some short-term pain for long-term gain. Clichés are fun. Before we get into the Championship Group League games, we have an Intermediate Cup semi to play against Queens University Belfast. Our record this year against them has been good, and a win here would see us play a team lower down the pyramid in the final, so a great chance for a cup in my first year. We can't play for this if we go up, so it'd be nice to pick it up just in case. It's the business end of the season, alright. Until next time. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 8 of FMOE here on Shaun Does FM with Banbridge Town. I hope you are doing well and coming up today, as you can see on screen, with a little bit of a deeper look at our youth intake, and off the back of that we take on Queens University Belfast in the semi-finals of the Irish Intermediate Cup. A win there, and we would probably be in a strong position to pick up that trophy in the final against the team who are down in the lower leagues here in Northern Ireland, being non-playable. That does look like a trophy if we do win this game that we should be picking up. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But we start off today's episode with the class of 2023 here at Banbridge Town. As you can see, a lot of players with high potential. Quite a few of them don't really have the ability to feature in the first team just yet, but with the potential that they do have, they are definitely players who could step up to that first team over the next couple of years if we do spend an extended time here at Banbridge Town. And that could be the case, of course, because as you saw in the intro, we have signed a contract extension for next season off the back of how we have done so far in the league, qualifying for that championship group. But probably the player who might get the most immediate game time here out of this year's youth intake is the star graduate in Barry Alexander. He does play forward, left wing and striker, so he doesn't really play in a position that our tactic does cater for at the moment, but he has 2-star current ability, so exactly the same as someone like Connor Downey. But at 15 years old and with all of that potential, he is definitely a player that we should be giving some game time to, so probably someone we will start to use come the start of next season. But at the moment, with players like Lenny Cumway out there on the left-hand side, I think he's going to just sit in our under-18s for this season and probably get promoted come the start of the next one. But definitely our star graduate from this year's youth intake. But as you can see, a number of players with quite high potential. Another player you might see a little bit of soon, Gary Murray. He is a midfielder, come attacking midfielder. I say you might see some of him soon. Of course, midfield, we have 2 good players here at the club in Chris Cowan as well as the OG Gallagher. So he's got a bit of competition in that area, but another player who isn't too far off in terms of his current ability and does have quite a bit of potential. And even further down, some of our top talents also have really good potential who we have signed here to the club. So a really good youth intake for us here. Thankfully, we did get rid of Jack Hill in that most recent transfer window. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have been able to sign these guys, as you saw in the intro as well. Our wage budget now has just snuck over that limit, which we did just get it on the right side of, off the back of getting rid of that man from Gloucester City. So a good youth intake here, but today we are focusing on the semi-final of the Irish Intermediate Cup. If we win this one, as I said, we should really be picking this trophy up, because the other semi-final is being played between 2 teams who are down in a non-playable league here in Northern Ireland in Football Manager. So definitely teams that we should be beating. So if we get past Queens University Belfast, it is a really good chance for us here to pick up a domestic cup to hopefully go alongside potentially a promotion, as you would have seen through the intro as well. We did qualify for the championship group in top spot, 2 points clear of Dollingstown, our rivals, and 4 points clear of Armour City, the closest team to us, who are outside one of those promotion or playoff game spots. So we are definitely in a good position, hopefully, to be going up, and we have 5 games left in the league season off the back of this cup semi-final. What I will say about that, our schedule early doors is quite tough. We take on those 2 top teams behind us in our first 2 games away at Dollingstown, then at home to Armour City. If we can get through those games unscathed, I think we're in a really, really strong position to be taking out the title, hopefully, or at the very least making our way through to that second spot, which would mean a promotion game against the team which finishes second bottom in the league above, which is the championship here in Northern Ireland. But as I said today, the focus is on the Intermediate Cup as we take on Queens University Belfast in the semi-final. We've played these guys a little bit so far this season, and they at the moment are in a little bit of a rough patch of form. They come into this one off the back of 2 losses in their last 2 games, and as well as that, they have now found themselves down in 10th on the league table, albeit probably not far down enough in terms of points to be dragged into a relegation battle, even though they are in the relegation group. As you can see, now that I get my face cam out the way, they are 10 points clear of Port Stewart and PSNI, so despite the fact they are in that relegation group, they don't actually look like they should be getting relegated. You'd imagine it's one of those 2 teams joint there on 15 points. They did beat us the first time that we did play them this season, but off the back of that, we have picked up 2 decent results against them, and hopefully, with the way the club is these days, in a really good run of form, and as well as that, our dynamics really, really good as well for a semi-professional club. Hopefully, we can pick up another win here, and as I said, put ourselves in a very good position to be picking up a cup this season, and our first one in charge here at Banbridge Town. And we have no injury or suspension concerns going into this one, so we're going to come back and get straight into the action from a neutral venue, the new Grosvenor Stadium, and try and make our way through to that Intermediate Cup final as we take on Queens Uni Belfast. And we have our first highlight of this one inside the first couple of minutes, and it is Queens Uni Belfast here who are on the attack. They are in the all-white, and we are in the mostly red uniform. They play a nice ball over the top there for O'Hara. That's a great early chance there for Young. Thankfully, puts that wide, so we get away with one early. Still 0-0 coming up to the 5-minute mark. And only a few minutes off the back of that, it does look like Queens University Belfast here are going to get off to a bit of a flyer, putting a lot of pressure on us early in this one, albeit thankfully, McLaughlin is there to clear that ball away. And now Ronan Culler was on the ball, but unfortunately, bit of a loose first touch there. And now O'Hara gets in behind. He somewhat heads that on, it looked like. And Ronan Young does give Queen's University Belfast the lead here. And based on the first 8 minutes that we've seen in this game, the first 2 highlights, hard not to argue they don't deserve a 1-0 lead off the back of what we had seen. Indeed, it's a nice header forward there from O'Hara, or O'Hara I should say. And unfortunately, Hunter cannot deal with that before Young puts that in the back of the net. A rough start. We go down 1-0 early. And we make our way forward now to around about the halfway mark in this first half, and we finally have an attacking opportunity here with a throw-in inside the final third. We have gone attacking early in terms of mentality in this game. It's something which we have been able to do a little bit more recently, now that our team is starting to click a little bit more regularly, albeit we did finish the league season in a little bit of iffy form, but hopefully we can kick on here in the latter stages. Good chance there for Max Fisher, but unfortunately Robertson with a good little block there before the goalkeeper can get a save in there, and Culler here will put this ball into the mixer from this corner, but unfortunately Queen's Uni Belfast do deal with that danger. We'll just see if anything else comes from the highlight. It doesn't, and it is still 1-0 to them at the half-hour mark. And a couple of minutes before half-time, we do have our next highlight here. We did have possession, but good work there from the OG Gallagher to get the ball back for us, and Cowan will play a ball over the top. Conway will deal with that. They clear that away now. McKevitt, nice ball over the top there for Conway, puts that one into the mixer for Max Fisher, and apparently that is a penalty from Johnston on him. It looked very, very innocuous, but it's something which at this stage of the game we might take. Now Max Fisher will put that one away finally. We score from the penalty spot. He does a nice little sway dance thing there, not really sure what that really is, but nonetheless, he puts the ball in the back of the net for one of the first times on camera, I believe. The goalkeeper actually gets a hand to that one, but we get a little bit of a get out of jail free card there inside the first half, because so far It's been a pretty average effort from us, but we are going into halftime locked up at 1-1 here in this Intermediate Cup semi-final. As you can see, Queens University Belfast got off to a really good start, but from there, in the second half of that first half, we did start to work our way back into that game. Obviously, the penalty helped out massively. Whether it was one or not is a little bit debatable, but we will take it. And we are going into the second half locked up at 1-1. We are going to make a change. Harry Barclay can come on for Steers on a 6.4. And also, our assistant manager has been telling us that OG Gallagher should be playing as a central midfielder instead of a box-to-box. So we'll do that as well and hopefully perform a little bit better in the second half, as we'll give the boys a little bit of a pep talk here and get back underway locked up at 1-1. And only a few minutes into the second half, it looks like that pep talk might have helped. We have a free kick here. Max Fisher at the far post. Unfortunately, his header does go just over the bar, but encouraging signs there to start off the second half as we are still locked up at 1-1 and not too far off the back of that. Now we have a throw-in just inside the final third. Cowan tries to play a ball forward there and tries to thread the needle through the Queen's Uni defence, but unfortunately can't quite pick anyone out. But off the back of that, they clear it. And Conway here is in behind. That's a really good chance there for Stephen McCavitt at the moment. In a little bit of a dry spell goal scoring wise, but just puts that one wide and still 1-1 10 minutes into the second half, albeit off the back of that, we are back down the end here for a free kick. I think that was Snodden who got his head on the end of that. That goes straight into the arms of Gawn in goal for Queens Uni Belfast. He pumps that deep, but McLaughlin, our right back, is there to tidy things up. We'll play that forward to Sod J, and now another ball over the top. Max Fisher can't quite get onto the end of that with his decent pace, and now it is a chance for Queens University Belfast to play out from the back. They play that ball forward, but good work there from Barclay on loan, of course, from Newcastle United. Great work there from Ronan Keller. Lovely first touch to keep that ball in, but unfortunately at the far post, that header does come off of the woodwork. So a few good chances here to start off the second half, but it is still 1-1. And we go forward now, about to enter the last 20 minutes of this game. And yet again, we are on the attack here with a throw-in inside of the final third. And Ronan Keller, who of course created that good chance before at the far post for some reason, is left completely unmarked off the back of that throw-in that just parted there like the red, or should I say white sea. And he puts that one away in the bottom left corner. This is going to be a great angle for it for some reason. That defender there, who is, if I can click on him, Robinson, just gives way to him. It's a really good finish there from Ronan Keller. Off the back of that, we are going to just tone down the tempo to balance, and as well as that, make a substitution as well. With Sod J only going okay at left back, he can come off for Joshua Swan, and as well as that, Stephen McCavitt is going okay out there, but down to a red heart. George Herbert in on loan can come on for him, and we'll see if we can hold on to this lead here for these last 20 minutes and make a cup final. And very shortly off the back of those previous substitutions, as well as just making sure we do start to time waste a little bit here, we do have a throw-in, and it is Keller there with a ball far post, and it is Lumi Conway who will head that one in the back of the net for his 15th goal this season. All the boys today doing that sort of Carlton dance, it looks like, and Ronan Keller is having one heck of a game today. Got that goal before to put us in front, and Conway there always on the right side of his defender to get that header off, puts that one in the back of the net. We grab a cushion goal and make it 3-1 here with just under 20 minutes left. And we're just about to enter injury time in this one. No highlights off the back of that quick fire double in and around the 70-minute mark. So despite the fact we got off to a pretty rough start in this game, we have come back well. Obviously that penalty late in the first half, a little bit debatable, but thankfully Max Fisher did put it away, and from there Ronan Keller to big plays in the second half there with a goal and an assist. Also created a few other good opportunities, and we end up going through to the Irish Intermediate Cup final by a scoreline of 3-1, and based on the stats, I think we deserve that eventually, albeit that penalty which did get given is going to heavily favour us in terms of our XG. So if you take that out, might have been a bit more of an even game than it did look. But as you can see in the other semi-final, Ballymoney United are the team that have won that one. Obviously with them coming from a non-playable league, or one that is down too far here in Northern Ireland, can't do much of a preview on those guys, but they did grab a winner there in injury time. But with that being the case, hopefully that is a final that should be quite winnable for us come the next episode, but we make our first cup final of the save off the back of a 3-1 win over Queens University Belfast in the Irish Intermediate Cup. And going forward a few clicks off the back of that win in that semi-final, as you can see, that final is actually not going to take place until the 9th of May, so that is quite deep in the season. It might actually be our last game of the season here at Banbridge Town, so before then, we are probably going to have to come back and show you guys what does happen in the championship group here in Northern Ireland in the 3rd tier. We might actually come back tomorrow and potentially do 2 games if it does look like we are going to wrap up that league fairly comfortably. We've only got 5 games left in the season. As I said, those first 2 could be quite important in terms of the results we do get in those ones against the teams currently 2nd and 3rd on the table from there, probably games which we should be winning. So what we might do at the start of next week, of course, because that is when the next episode is going to come out, is show you guys the end of the league season where hopefully we can lift that title and also that Intermediate Cup final. If we don't lift the title, we will also have a playoff to try and make our way through to that 2nd tier of Northern Ireland. So we're going to wrap up the season come the start of next week, see the end of season review with the new dynamic manager timeline as well, which could be quite interesting. And from there, we'll start to go forward a little bit, hopefully still in charge of Banbridge Town, unless something else does come up in terms of an interesting job. But with us having signed a contract, pretty happy here, especially as they are funding our coaching courses, which is quite useful at this early stage of our managerial career. And hopefully we can go into that 2nd season being in the 2nd tier and also off the back of a cup win as well. But that will do it for today's episode. If you did enjoy it, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well until the start of next week, where we do wrap up the 1st season here at Banbridge Town. Thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.